Сьогодні ми дуже раді відкрити в музею Шевченка, відкрити виставку Павла Осадчука, українсько-канадського фотографа, яка називається «Інший погляд у пошуках миру».
Paul's intent is to provoke people to think and draw their own conclusions. His wish is to pique their curiosity and engage them in thought. And it gives him great satisfaction to stand back and observe their response to his images. In the other view, Searching for Peace, by presenting mirror images of sites and zones of former violent conflict, Paul introduces destruction and human suffering into the conversation, but does not depict it visually. He worries for his family and for the world. His way of supporting a cause very near to his heart is this exhibition, with 100% of the proceeds going through the Canada-Ukraine Foundation for the rehabilitation of Ukraine's wounded soldiers and veterans.
I do want to say that the work is not a reflection, even though it has to do with conflict, it's not a reflection directly of conflict. I didn't intend at all to be able to illustrate destruction, pain and suffering, loss of lives. I did want to be able to show that if there is a conflict, then there are ways to be able to, people can't come to any kind of conclusion, that there are both sides of the story. There are people, the aggressors, and the people who are being aggressed upon, for lack of a better expression. So that's why there are mirror images. If the things can be resolved, then the image stays whole. If things are not being resolved and addressed, the image falls apart. So you only get a chance to experience that one thing and that one thing only. I find it very difficult that people who are in power want to be able to keep on people suffering, for lack of a better word to be able to describe the content. And it's all for power, and I don't understand why people need this. What's the purpose of having to go out there and destroy things because you feel it's in your ability to be able to do that? So I often drift off when I see something like this, when there's struggles around the world. For there have been struggles over the millenniums. There have been thousands of different things. I try to point out just one on every image that's on the wall, but there are hundreds and thousands of other conflicts. But I like to be able to think that we can make a difference by trying to get to a point where we can talk these things through and not allow this to happen. I think it's, not a very kind message we're sending. We're not providing a good legacy of who we are and what our intent is. So over the years, and in my research, I discovered that there are two main components that are primarily you can focus on causing all this pain and suffering. One is power, and the other, unfortunately, is religion. I would like to be able to dampen and temper those two areas, if at all possible. I wanted to be able to find some way that I could contribute something for the cause, for the Ukrainian people. My cultural background is Ukrainian. I still have family in Ukraine. My family in Ukraine is actually fighting. So I don't have the youth in me to be able to go out there and become an active member of the army that's there, but I do have another way to be able to contribute, and that is to be able to send support with the White Stork, which sends medical supplies over there, with the Canada-Ukrainian Foundation, which helps whatever way it can to make the pain and suffering less painful and less sufferable. So all the proceeds from what gets sold in this show goes directly there to those two organizations. So that's my motivation for doing the work that I'm doing.